Welcome to day 22 of 4 weeks of yoga. We're already starting the last week, and since we're starting a new week, we're going to switch up the yoga flow and cardio sequence just a little bit. But we're going to start out the same way, seated on the floor with the eyes closed, and we're going to bring our awareness towards our breath and towards our body, really strengthening that mind-body connection. And something I want to do a bit differently this week is that instead of reading our meditation or mantra for the practice at the end, I want to read it now in the beginning and maybe a few times throughout the practice so that we can really dwell on it throughout the entire practice. Even while we're doing the poses and movements and exercises, we can continue to dwell on the meditation, and those movements and poses become not just a physical practice, but they also become a mindful practice. So we're making that mind-body connection throughout the entire practice. So the meditation for today says, "Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another." That's from 1 John 4:11. So you can dwell on that now throughout the practice and even throughout your day. We're also going to bring our attention to our bodies right now and our breath. I'm not going to guide you through the usual breath, feet to shoulders and mindset body scan like we have been doing. Now it's going to be more up to you, just bringing your attention to where you think you need it most. Bring your awareness, maybe you need to focus on your breath, or maybe on your state of mind, or maybe on a specific part of your body. But you can just take your awareness around your body, just practice that, and bring your awareness to where you feel like you need it most. Now we're going to come to standing to do our sun salutations. So inhaling, we're going to reach the arms out and up, looking towards the sky. And with an exhale, we're going to bend from the waist and touch the floor. Inhaling, you're going to reach the head up a bit. And you can either step or hop your feet back to lower into cobra or upward dog. And now we're going to push the hips up to come into downward dog. Now you can step or hop the feet back to the hands. And with an inhale, we're going to come up with the arms reaching towards the sky. And with an exhale, you can lower the hands through prayer position. We're going to inhale the arms out and up again. And with an exhale, we're going to bend from the waist and touch the floor, bending the knees if necessary. Now we're going to hop the feet back or step them back and lower into cobra or upward dog. Now we're going to lift the hips to come into downward dog. Now we're going to bring the feet to the hands, either with a step or with a hop. And we're going to come back up with your arms reaching towards the sky. And we're going to lower them through prayer. Inhaling, we're going to reach out and up, really stretching up towards the sky. And with an exhale, we're going to bend from the waist and touch the floor. Going to lift the head a bit. And we're going to hop or step back and lower into cobra or upward dog. Remember, in upward dog, the thighs don't touch the floor like they do in cobra pose. Now we're going to lift up into downward facing dog. Now you can step or hop the feet back to the hands. You're going to straighten the knees as much as you can. And then with an inhale, we're going to come up with the arms reaching towards the sky, and we're going to lower them through prayer position. So inhaling, you're going to reach out and up, And with an exhale, we're going to reach down towards the floor. We're going to lift the head a bit, and we're going to step or hop back and lower into cobra or upward dog. Now we're going to lift the hips and come up into downward dog. Now you can step or hop the feet back to the hands. And we're going to inhale, coming up with the arms reaching towards the sky. And we're going to lower them through prayer. We're going to inhale the arms out and up. And with an exhale, we're going to lower and touch the floor. Inhaling, and lift the head and chest a bit. And with an exhale, we're going to relax them. Inhaling, we're going to lift them again. And we're going to step back and come to all fours to do some rounds of cat-cow. So inhaling, we're going to arch the back. And exhaling, we're going to round it. Inhaling, we're going to arch it. And exhaling, we're going to round. We're going to arch. And we're going to round. Arching. And rounding. We're going to arch and round. And on the next exhale, we're going to lower down into child's pose. Inhaling, we're going to come up and arch the back. And exhaling, we're going to round it. We're going to stay here for an inhale. And on the next exhale, we're going to lower down into a child's pose. Inhaling, we're going to come up and arch. And exhaling, we're going to round. And on the next exhale, lower down into child's pose. Inhaling, we're going to come up and arch the back. And exhaling, we're going to round it. And we're going to lower down into child's pose. We're going to inhale up, and now we're going to keep the back neutral. We're going to tuck the toes, and we're going to lift the hips and go directly up into downward dog. Now we're going to bring the right knee into the chest, lowering the hips and shifting the weight forward, keeping the spine nice and long. Now we're going to come back into downward dog. And now we're going to bring the left knee into the chest. Same thing, lowering the hips, shifting the weight forward, making sure the back is not too arched or too rounded. And we're going to come back into downward dog for one breath. Now we're going to bring the right knee in again. Hips come down, weight shifts forward a bit, keeping the spine nice and long. And now we're going to come back into downward dog. Now we're going to bring the left knee in. And we're going to come back to downward dog. You're going to bring the right knee towards the chest. This really is a good arm and core strengthener. Now we're going to push back into downward dog, and we're going to bring the left knee in. And we're going to push back into downward dog. Now you can lower your knees, and with an exhale, we're going to rest in child's pose. Now we're going to come up and get ready to do dolphin pose. So elbows on the floor, hands clasped together. And with an inhale, we're going to lift the hips and straighten the knees as much as you can. Trying to push the floor away with your forearms to really lengthen the spine. Now we're going to walk the feet back a few inches and lower the hips to come into a dolphin plank pose. Same thing here, we want to keep the spine long, not too rounded or too arched. Now you can lower the knees, and we're going to rest in child's pose. Now we're going to come up, we're going to come to seated with the legs bent, and we're going to do boat pose. So arms out in front of you, keeping the spine nice and long. You can leave the feet touching the floor if you need to, or you can lift them up a little bit, or even straighten them. But do place the feet where you can while still keeping the spine long. We don't want to undo the integrity of the spine. We want to keep it nice and long. Now we're going to lower the feet and sit up nice and straight. Now we're going to come into the pose again, remembering to keep the core engaged, the spine and neck long. Now we're going to lower the feet, sit up nice and tall, and we're going to come up to standing to do our cardio. So the first exercise is these standing twist crunches. So we're going to bring the knees in and twist towards that side. 30 seconds start now, and the hands are behind the head. As usual, go at your own pace. If you want to speed it up, you can. If you want to slow it down to really feel like you're doing the exercise correctly, that's perfectly fine as well. That's why I do seconds and not repetitions, because everyone has their own pace that they need to work at. Perfect. Now we're going to rest for 15 seconds, and the next exercise is going to be no jump ice skaters. And we start now. And I'm going to read the meditation again for this day. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. 1 John 4:11. This week's meditations are really going to focus on love, mainly towards other people. Wonderful. Now the next exercise is going to be reverse lunges with jumps. So we're going to do a reverse lunge, and we're going to bring the knee up and do a jump. So we're going to do one side at a time. Right now I'm doing the right side. And we start now. This is a great cardio one, and it also really works the leg that's doing the jump. So it's great for legs and cardio. And balance too, because it takes a good amount of balance to come back into that reverse lunge. Wonderful. Now we're going to rest for 15 seconds and repeat it all. So just breathe. We're already halfway through the cardio. You got this. So we're going to do the standing twist crunches, ice skaters, and then reverse lunges with jumps. Now we're going to start with the first exercise, which is the standing crunch twists. Perfect. Now we're going to rest for 15 seconds and get ready for the next exercise, which is 30 seconds of no jump ice skaters. start now. Wonderful. Now we're going to rest for 15 seconds and then do the reverse lunges with jumps on the other side. So I did the right side and now I'm going to do the left side. So don't forget to breathe. We only have one exercise to go, so you got this. And we start now. Perfect, and we are done with the cardio. So we're going to come back down to the floor. We're going to lay on our backs with the legs bent to do our cool down stretches. So we're going to place the right foot over the left knee, and you can leave the legs on the floor or you can bring them closer towards the chest, flexing both feet. And as usual, this is a time when we're going to start to lengthen our breath little by little. We really want to bring that heart rate back down as we cool down and do our meditation. Now you can release the legs and switch feet. So the left foot over the right knee. I'm going to read our meditation again. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. Again, that's found in 1 John 4:11. Now you can release the legs, and we're going to straighten the right leg, leaving the left one bent. And we're going to bring the left knee over to the right side, extending the left arm out to the side, making sure that the left shoulder is still on the ground, and the left foot is either on the inside of the right leg or still touching the right leg. We don't want it to come out too far to the side because that puts unnecessary pressure on the lumbar part of the spine. Now we're going to come back and we're going to switch legs. So we're going to bend the right, twisting the knee over to the left side, and extending the right arm out to that side. Now we're going to come back and bend both legs, placing the hands on the kneecaps. And with an exhale, we're going to bring the knees into the chest and round the back. And with an inhale, we're going to arch the back, letting the arms extend. Exhaling, you're going to round the back, bringing the knees back into the chest. And with an inhale, we're going to arch it and extend the arms. And exhaling, you're going to bring the knees back into the chest. And with an inhale, we're going to let the arms extend. Now you can release the legs and let them stay bent or straight, whichever feels more comfortable. You can place your hands on your torso or rest them next to you on the floor. Again, whatever feels most comfortable. And we're going to start to relax. truly relax and rest physically and mentally. So you can do a body scan if you want, starting at the toes and working your way up towards the tip of the head, just noticing any muscles that feel tense. And we're going to relax them little by little. You can also bring your awareness towards your breath, and you can even feel like you're breathing into that muscle that's tense, giving it oxygen, giving it room to relax. Really breathing into those tense muscles. And when you reach the head with your body scan, you can make sure that you're relaxing your mind and clearing it. You're going to have thoughts floating around, but we're just going to keep them in the back of the mind. We're not going to give them importance right now. We're not going to bring them to the front of the mind right now, because this is your time to relax. This is your time to rest your mind and body. They do so much throughout the day. Okay, so we can take just at least a few moments out of each day to rest completely. As we're resting here, we're going to let all the negative emotions, stress, anxiety, maybe grudges, anger, we're going to let all of those negative emotions that really weigh us down, we're just going to let them go. We're going to let them sink into the floor. And as they do, as they sink into the floor, they lighten us. You feel lighter and freer. And that space that they created, you can fill with love and joy and peace. Imagine that you're filling your heart up with love. And just as the heart pumps blood into your entire body, you're going to let it pump that blood and that love and that peace into your entire body. Our meditation or mantra for today, for the last time, it says, "Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another." It's 1 John 4:11. So you're just going to let your heart fill up with that love. First of all, that love for yourself, but also going to come from that love from yourself you can give to others. If you want to, you can bring to mind a specific person, maybe someone that you already like a lot, maybe you even love already. If you really want to make a difference, you can think about someone you don't like as much and start to try to change little by little. It takes time, but try to change your reaction to when you think about them to something full of love. And when you're ready, you can roll over to one side. And with a soft gaze or closed eyes, we're going to gently push up to seated. And with a long, deep inhale, we're going to place our hands over the heart and imagine that we're filling the heart up with peace and love. And as we exhale, we're going to send all that into our body. Inhale, we're going to fill the heart with with energy and joy and gratitude. And as you exhale, we're going to send all of that into our entire body. Now you can lower your hands. And as we inhale, we're going to slowly lower the head. And with an exhale, you can slowly open your eyes and lift the head. So that was our practice for today and the one we're going to use for the rest of this week. So I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. And I hope you have a magnificent, mindful day. See you next time.